Hello everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. So as you can see, we have some beautiful spring blossoms going on here today. I've got some forsythia which is opening up, and the beautiful star magnolia, which I absolutely love. So I've got a few of these small trees growing around the gardens at Dandelion Cottage, and if you've been following me for a while, you know that these petals are a great favorite of the chickens, and when they begin to drop, the chickens get very excited and like to eat them, and they will also hop up, which is really funny, to get the petals that are higher. And my previous rooster, Charlemagne, and his predecessors would hop up and grab the higher blossoms to pull the petals to give to the girls. My new rooster, Houdini, is now outside with the girls. He's very happy. They're very happy. I don't think he's learned how to do that yet, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on him to see if he figures out how to hop up and get the petals for them. So I was inspired by the magnolias, and I thought that today we would go ahead and paint one. But I decided that what I'd like to do is to paint on toned paper, because when you're doing a white flower, that can be a very effective way of modeling the form. So I'm going to show you that today. And I've got a whole bunch of things out. So let me show you some of the supplies. Don't worry about writing anything down, because I'm going to give you a supply list after the video today, so you'll be able to see all the things. Let me check my settings here. Okay, that looks good. So I've also pulled out this stamp set called Magnolia Mood. And although this is a different kind of magnolia than the one I grow, it's close enough. This one, as I may have mentioned before, is called a star magnolia, and it's very early blooming. And not all of the magnolias will grow in my zone because I'm a little bit colder, and they typically like to grow in warmer areas. But we do have a couple that will tolerate our zone 4 to zone 5 weather. But the magnolias that are pictured in this stamp set are definitely the southern magnolias. And it's got some very nice images here. This is the distinctive stamp, so it looks like it's got a little bit of shading on it already. And then it's got some nice sentiments, and I like this one particularly. It says, "Just a note to let you know that you are loved." I thought that was very pretty. So we'll be using that. I've got my Pebbled Path ink out. I've got my 2325 in color markers. So I'm going to grab my, make sure this is the right one. And the name is Pebbled Path. There it is. Okay. I have my water painters, and so I'll just grab the medium one. I'll take out the little one just in case, but I don't think we're going to be using that. And I also have watercolor pencils. So I've got those out. And then I've got a little palette here that has some white paint in it. Actually, it's not white paint, it's white ink. So this is the white pigment ink that we use to refill the ink pad. I'm just going to top that off. And this is really thick ink, so it comes out very slowly. And finally, I have some of the Pebbled Path refiller. So this is the water-based ink, and I'm just going to put a drop of that, and I'll put that, just put that here for now. Okay. So, let me get my paper. I've got a piece of toned paper here, and I'm going to, actually, I'm going to do a little sketch. I'm going to show you, I'm going to begin with a sketch. So I'm just going to set this up so I can see it pretty well. And actually, this flower is very pretty with this bud next to it. So I think I'll do a little assortment of flowers. And I'm going to use one of my watercolor pencils. So let's see what we've got here. I'm going to see if I can find a pencil that is close to the Pebbled Path. I'm going to go with, I'll try Basic Gray. I'll just test it on here a little bit. I can just barely see that. Now, I know it's going to be very hard for you to see. I don't even know if the camera will pick that up, but you can see that it's very, very close, and that's good. That's what I want. I just want a very light outline. But you know what? Because we are on camera, I'm going to go ahead and use something a little bit darker. So let me see what color this is. I've got a basic black here. See what that looks like. All right, if I go very lightly, it won't be full strength. So, but I think you'll be able to see that better. So we'll go with that. Okay, I'm going to zoom you in. And I'm just going to do a very rough, light sketch. This is just to sort of get things positioned on the paper. So I've got my little bud over in this corner. I've got my big bud that's opened up. Now, we have had some very cold weather here, and some of these blossoms are a little bit worse for wear because they did get zapped. So not all of them are in perfect shape, but this one's actually looking pretty good. And then I think I'll have, there's a tiny little bud back here, which is beautiful. These little buds look like, almost like pussy willows. They're all velvety and silvery, just gorgeous. And I'm going to improvise a bit and add a little stem off to the side. All right, so I've got my area sort of mapped out. I'm going to add a blossom in the background. All right, so I've got one main flower here. And I just want to make sure that I depict some of these prominent petals. Make sure I get the directions. So if you think about the hours on a clock, and as you're sketching out your flower petals, you think, you know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and so on. That may help you to make sure you get everything in the area that you want it to be in. And I love these petals that kind of fold over on themselves. Very pretty. My center. And if I look down inside there, I can see it's got a lot of texture. Making sure that the center axis of all my petals is pointing back to the center of the flower from which they spring. I know it doesn't look like much now, but just give me a minute and we'll get some paint or ink on there and it'll start to look like something. Okay, so that's my main flower, and then over here I've got this little twig coming out in that direction, and then this second flower is actually growing out of there. So if I just make sure I show where that's coming from, like so. Just beautiful. The only thing they're missing is a scent. Other than that, the star magnolia is pretty darn perfect as far as a early blooming understory tree goes. I'm not sure what their range is, but you could easily Google that. Just put in star magnolia and zone, and you can find out if it's something that will grow in your garden. They don't have any pests that I'm aware of, and they've got a nice long lifespan. And probably the best thing of all is that they're so early blooming. So it's exciting. It's always exciting to see them as they begin to unfurl. And plus, in the very, very early spring, those velvety buds that I was talking about are beautiful, just beautiful. All right, so that's enough sketching. So this is what it looks like. All right, and again, I used the basic black colored pencil that very lightly, so it wouldn't be too dark on here, and you might want to think about using something even a little bit lighter. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up a little bit, and got my water painters. I'm going to start with the bigger one and a tiny bit. I'm using a tiny bit of my pebbled path, and I'm just adding plenty of water to that. And I'm just going to begin sketching with the brush this time. just adding a little bit of tone. The working tone on tone like this really helps to save time, and it makes it a lot easier to model the form. And if that sounds interesting to you, you might want to check out the Watercolor Card Club, because this month we're going to be painting tone on tone, and I'm going to be going into it in much more detail. And in fact, we'll be using this Magnolia Mood stamp set for those of you who prefer to not do the sketching but just want to go work it from a stamped image. So you'll have that option as well. And if you'd like to learn more about the Watercolor Card Club, then please go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com, and there is a tab there that you can click on that will give you much more information. And it's a wonderful online experience for people who are just starting out or people who are a little more advanced with watercolor. And we have a wonderful group who will inspire you. And there's also a live Zoom class each month, so that you can post your images of the paintings that you're working on, and if you have any questions about how to go about painting them, you're welcome to participate in the Zoom, and also see what everybody else is doing and share your tips, get inspiration, all the things. So check that out, the Watercolor Card Club, and every month you'll learn to paint a new subject. So this current month coming up is the Magnolias. So keep an eye out for that. Alright, so I've got that started. And that's looking kind of nice. Let's see what happens when we start to add a little bit of the lighter tones. So again, I'm just diluting the pigment. It's a very dilute mixture. And I'm going to begin by just putting a couple of strokes here and there. And you can build this up slowly. So take your time. And as you're working, that black watercolor pencil will begin to fade, which is what we're hoping for. I'm just checking to see if anybody's out there. And I see Kelly. Hi, Kelly. What are you up to today? You have any plans to work in your craft room or your studio? So when you're working on toned paper like this, one of the nice advantages that you have is that you can work from your middle values out, which is a very effective way of modeling your form. And I'm not going as light as I could, and I'm not going as dark as I could. I'm just kind of working my way around the petals and seeing what they look like as they develop. People say all the time, they say, "Oh, you're so talented, you're an artist, I could never do that." And I assure you, you can. It just takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of knowledge. And you have your whole life in front of you to develop it and get better and better and better. But it's all about painting what you know, and really being patient with yourself. It's a process. It's not something that happens overnight, for sure. But when you take the time to study and to learn, you're investing in yourself and in your creativity, and you will get a tremendous amount of satisfaction and pleasure of being able to take a moment to do some close observation, like I'm doing here, of this magnificent flower. Okay, it could be a bird, it could be a grandchild, it could be a pet. And it's a lot of fun. And if you choose, if you wanted to make a little note card, you could share your work with your friends and family. You could exhibit your work. Keep a sketchbook or a journal that you could add photos to or writing to. So really it's wherever your imagination takes you. Now, I remember when I first started art school, a long time ago, I remember my first days and walking into the sketch class and looking around at all the other people who were working there and just feeling so humbled and, you know, blown away. It seemed like everybody was a little Michelangelo. And it was extremely intimidating to me to walk in front of a room with, 40, 50 people who appeared to be very accomplished artists, and to just walk in as a beginner. But that's where we all start. And every single one of those people that were producing the beautiful drawings all started somewhere, and you can too. So, you know, a lot of people love watercolor, they love art, and they wish in their heart of hearts that they could do it, but maybe you've been busy living life. Maybe you've had a family or a career, whatever the case may be, that just never brought your desire to fruition. And maybe now is a good time. We have an entire season of summer ahead of us here in North America, and here at Dandelion Cottage, of course, I've got all these beautiful flowers getting ready to show their stuff, and I'm going to be sharing those with you. And so this might be the perfect time. I'm going to be showing you how to make your own sketchbook, your own handmade sketchbook that you can use in your garden or on your travels or just in your studio. You could use it for a scrapbook, you know, add some photos in there as well. So all sorts of things coming up here. If you are not subscribed to Notes from Dandelion Cottage, please subscribe, because I'm going to be making a lot of announcements about all of the different activities, classes, workshops, etc. that I have coming right up. And the only way I can share that with you is in Notes, which is my newsletter. Doesn't come out very often. I should be doing it more often, but right now I'm a little busy. But if you subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage, I will keep you up to date on all the upcoming classes, workshops, special deals, ways to save money, tips, techniques, photos of Dandelion Cottage, what's going on here, what I'm up to, all the things. So it's not very long, short and sweet. So please subscribe to Notes, and the way you can do that is there is a button on my Facebook page that says sign up. That will take you there. You can also go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and you can subscribe there. Or if you're watching on YouTube, I will put the link in the description below, and you can just click on the link to get there. So please check that out, and do it soon, because I do have a bunch of things coming right up. And if you're interested in the how to make your own nature journal, garden journal, or you know, working with the flowers, doing botanical painting, you won't want to miss out. So please do that. All right, so this is coming along, and I don't want to spend too much time on here, because I know that you're busy and you've got things and projects of your own to work on. So I'm just going to put a couple of finishing touches on here and there. And then I've got something special I want to share with you, so stay tuned. In a couple of minutes I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this, which I think that you're going to really like. And I'm going to go back into my white now. Now you can go right over the top of your white to make it even brighter in the areas that you want to do that. So that's what I'm doing here. Not everywhere, just here and there. The shape of that petal. And I also have that sentiment. Okay, I think I'm just about done for now. Now, of course, you can take as little or as long as you'd like on yours. I'm going to cut it short because of the not wanting the video to go too long. So there we go. So there's my sketch of the star magnolia. And next, I have a scrap piece of cardstock here, and I've got my sentiment. And there's Emma! Oh, Emma, she's busy with the wedding. She's been making invitations and all sorts of things. Emma, this, I hope that you're able to come to the team meeting Zoom this month. It's going to be a really, really good one. And there's going to be several presenters, guest presenters, and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you have that on the calendar, that Zoom coming up at the end of the month. All right, let's see if we can get this on here fairly straight. I'm going to have to trim it a little bit. Oh, that's pretty crooked. That's all right. We're going to go with crooked this time. We're going to go with a sentiment on a diagonal. I'm just going to trim that down. And I'm going to sponge that a little bit. It doesn't have to be straight. You know, this sentiment is definitely a diagonal and it looks kind of nice. I like it. Happy accident. So don't be afraid to, don't strive for perfection. Perfection is boring. You want something that shows a little character, a little creativity, something a little interesting. Now, in addition to these wonderful sentiments and images in the Magnolia mood set, let me zoom you out a little bit so you can see. It also comes with the dies. And these dies are really wonderful. I'm going to be doing a project using these dies very soon, maybe even tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it for Paper Crafting Thursday tomorrow. These dies are spectacular. I mean, if you look at this great big one, look at all the detail in that die. So you've got all of this sort of embossed shapes. You've got all of these cutouts. It's a big die. Look at the size of it. Really wonderful. I've gone ahead and I've taken some of the smaller dies and I've used them to cut out some gold leaves. These are the smaller leaves. So let's get those out. And I didn't leave myself very much room for my sentiment, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I love introducing a little bit of sparkle. So what I have here is the distressed gold paper. Look at this die. Here's a die. Where's my tweezer? Here's a die that actually has the little buds kind of cut out. So in that space there, I could add something like that. Look at this one with these beautiful filigree leaves. Could put that behind there. Okay. Could trim that. I may do that. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. So I'm just, to make this fit, I'm just going to take off this extra leaf, which I'll be able to use someplace else, and add a little bit of my liquid glue, just a couple of drops. And then tuck that right under here, just like so. Move that down a little bit. Look how pretty that is. All right, so I could add, if I wanted to add a few other embellishments, I could do that. But there, I think you could see how this could work nicely on a note card if you chose to do that. I'm doing something very different with this today though, and I want to show that to you. So I have, and I've cut this down. You can see it's not your standard card size. It's actually 3 3/4 by 4, and that's just the right size for this wonderful little journal. This is a this is just the cover, and it's a traveler's journal. And I'm very excited about this because I can take these, got a piece of paper in there just to check the size, but I can take my paintings and pop them in or out as I'd like. All right, so there's today's picture in my adorable little journal. It's got a little pocket on the cover, which is very nice. Okay, so this is a little traveler's notebook. It's made by Elizabeth Craft Designs, and they've got all different colors and sizes and so forth. But how fun is that, to be able to pop your pictures into your journal and take them out so that you could change it seasonally. So that's my tone on tone watercolor for today. So there you go. And let me just show you. So if, for instance, you were to use this on a standard 5.5 by 4.25 card front, it would look something like that. And you could always put some of that distressed gold around the edge of your painting. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gave you some ideas. I am so excited and inspired that spring has sprung and that we're about to be beginning a whole new season of botanical painting and nature-inspired crafting and bookmaking. Don't forget to please sign up for notes from Dandelion Cottage Design so I can let you know about all of the different things that I have coming up for you. And if you decide to create a project that's inspired by something that you see here, then please go ahead and post it in my private Facebook group called Something Old, Something New, where you can go ahead and use your retired Stampin' Up! Products and new products and do some stash busting from your studio. Don't forget, the new catalog is going to be coming out very soon, and well, for demonstrators it's already available, but if you have not joined my design team, you can get a copy of the catalog. Let me know, send me an email, let me know that you're interested in getting one, and you'll be set to go on, I think it's May 4th, May 2nd or May 4th when the catalog goes live. So stay well, stay creative, stay happy, and I will see you next time.